Let's talk about the attack at Bondi Beach in Sydney, Australia. So, obviously, you're aware the death toll is somewhere between 12 to 16 people died, over 30 people got injured. It was two attackers or shooters who just started shooting into the crowd of the Jewish people celebrating the first day of Hanukkah. I'm gonna have a very unpopular opinion. So my opinion is actually that obviously it's the fault of the attackers, terrorists, whatever you want to call them, but Australia and the whole, I would say, Christian religion or Western society is at blame as well, and I'll explain a little bit more. Let's just watch what we know about the attackers for now.
The two alleged gunmen involved in a terror attack on Australian soil have been identified by police. Naveed Akram, 24, and his father, Sajid Akram, 50, who was shot and killed by police, opened fire on thousands of beachgoers in Bondi during a Hanukkah festival on December 14, 2025.
Oh my god, get down, boys, get down. Oh my god.
It's horrible, man.
Naveed was arrested by New South Wales police at the scene after being downed and is in a critical but stable condition. Horror scenes unfolded around 6:45 p.m. as the two men, armed with rifles and shotguns, began a deadly rampage lasting over 10 minutes. The mass shooting as of writing has left at least 16 people dead and dozens injured. The ages of those killed range from 10 years old to 87. Footage captured in a building across on Campbell Parade sees a father and son working in unison, firing shot after shot into the Jewish gathering. Naveed's mother, Verena, told reporters that her son last spoke to the family on Sunday morning. The father and son had told their family that they were going on a fishing trip to Jarvis Bay.
I've made it really clear that there was no specific intelligence in relation to the incident itself. We responded very promptly. Further information will be provided. I think I've also made it quite clear with a person who is currently in hospital at the moment who may well face criminal charges. It's important that I don't prejudice any prosecution.
Reports also state Naveed was a bricklayer before being laid off about 2 months ago after the company collapsed. Sajid Akram, the 50-year-old owner of a fruit shop killed in the standoff, was a licensed firearm holder, having held a gun license for about a decade. On-scene video caught the moment Sajid was disarmed by a local hero who tackled the alleged gunman and pointed his own gun at him.
Okay, so before we... you know what? Let's watch this.
New South Wales Premier...
So about the local hero, before all y'all start with hating on Muslims, the gentleman who actually disarmed the attacker was a Syrian-born Muslim person who actually is currently a citizen of Australia. And it's one of those stories when immigration can be really good, right? I believe every country wants the immigrants like this gentleman who's gonna stand for the citizens. And it's crazy if you think about the tension and the hate and whatever you want to call it between Muslims and Jewish people. It just proves that everyone's its own person. Like this gentleman was Muslim. He had no religious responsibility to stop the other guy from killing Jewish people. And yet he did it because he's a good person. And that's the immigrant who deserved the citizenship, right? And that's what we're going to talk about once this video is over.
Chris Minns designated the incident as an act of terror.
Commissioner Lanyon will speak about the investigation, the police response, as well as the designation of this attack as a terrorism event in Sydney. Our heart bleeds for Australia's Jewish community tonight.
Investigations into the mass shooting are still ongoing.
Okay, so first of all, terrible. It's horrible. 10-year-old girl lost life, right? The gentleman who survived the Holocaust killed. Like, no one deserves that. No matter the faith, no matter the race, nothing. No one deserves to be executed like this. And now let's talk about a hot take or unpopular opinion. So my opinion is, if you look at the countries like Australia, UK, Canada, and compare it to Saudi, which country works? Saudi. Does it mean that the Muslim religion is better than Christianity or no religion? No. But the thing is, you don't go to Saudi and start, I don't know, preaching about Jesus, going against their religion, not following their laws, right? Saudi or Middle East, I lived in Middle East for 3 years. Did I feel unsafe? No. But did I do something against their religion, against their culture, against their habits? No, I didn't, because we know what's going to happen if we do. So why don't we behave exactly the same in the Western society, like Canada, Australia? Can you consider Australia Western? I guess you know what I mean, right? And UK. Well, I think the biggest issue is that Christian can't accept immigrants of different religions into their own country without any back check or, interview or anything like this. Because like I said, the gentleman who stopped the shooter, good immigrant. I bet he's not the one who's going protesting pro-Palestine, throwing bricks at the police, right? I don't think he's someone who would do that. He just adapted to Australian lifestyle, right? Assimilate with Australian culture. And that's how it's supposed to be. And that's how it is. It sounds crazy, but that's how it works in Saudi and in the Middle East. Like, you assimilate with the culture or adapt, because if you don't, you're gonna die. Like, let's be honest about that. You're gonna die. So I don't think Christian countries should accept all of the different religions without actually talking to these people and asking the question like, are you willing to follow our culture standards and stuff like this, right? And why I think it's a Christian society's fault is, yes, Christians is a religion about accepting everyone, right? That's pretty much Christianity to my understanding. Well, but you accept Jewish people, and then you accept Muslim people. You don't find out who's extremist or no. You don't find out who's gonna follow the laws of your country. And then you're surprised you have terrorist attacks when you literally have two parties that hate each other. Why are you surprised? Like, you literally give them playground. And that's what's the worst about this whole situation. Then it's happening not in Gaza, not in Israel, not in, Afghanistan. It's happening in Australia. It's happening in the UK. It's happening in Germany. Speaking of Germany, let's go, buddy. So yeah, it's just crazy. Like, we allow that. And why? Like, if you look at the countries, you have religious countries, obviously Christian countries that accept everyone. So are they even Christian anymore? Like, I feel like the only Christian country that I can think about is Poland, who's very picky about who they accept. And if you don't follow their laws or their culture, you're out. Not in prison, just out, deported, right? And when was the last time you heard about terrorist attack in Poland? Then you have Muslim countries like Saudi, UAE. When did you hear about something bad over there? Nothing, right? Then you have Christian countries that accept everyone, and we all know that these are the countries that have issues with immigration. And I wouldn't even call them Christian anymore. It's mostly secular, right? So we know accepting everyone, having all religions, just doesn't work. And it doesn't work because of the Christian would be the bad ones. No. When was the last terrorist attack that was made by Christians? Only one I can think about is Breivik in Norway, right? And again, if I remember correctly, it wasn't like he was attacking minority or anything like that. But correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, so we can see that this experiment doesn't work. If you want to be secular country, sure, but you have to make sure that everyone's on the same level. That there's going to be literally no, I would say, public religious display. And if you want to be Christian country, well, that means that on public display, it should be only Christianity. Like no temples, nothing like that. Yes, you can keep your faith, but privately. There's not going to be any other religion on display than Christianity. Exactly same like it is in the Middle East, and it works. The society is much safer. We didn't hear about any issues, and don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing religions, because I have a lot to say about Middle East and Islam, right? I would definitely choose Christianity every day. But the fact is, the way the society is built, that there's only one religion, publicly at least, and it works. And that's what we should come back in US, Canada, UK. And another thing why I'm saying I blame Australia, this is probably not confirmed, but apparently they were following the shooters. They were keeping an eye on them. They knew something's going on. Even the gentleman in the video told us no. But the biggest issue is that nowadays you can't say anything, because if you say something, automatically you hate Arabs, you hate Islam or whatever, you're Islamophobe, right? But if your secret service is already keeping an eye on them, how do you allow this to happen? And again, Australia, unfortunately, is the perfect example of what I was talking about regarding religion, right? You have these multiple religions inside of one country. You have Jews, you have Muslims, the religion that literally hate each other. The public display of religion, which is celebration of Hanukkah on Bondi Beach. Not even some private property, some Jewish temple or church or whatever they have, right? No, you do it on the Bondi Beach. Even though you know that you have extremists in the country, you're keeping an eye on the extremists. And you're gonna celebrate the religion publicly in the public places. Like I said, it just doesn't go together. You should either have a secular society where everyone understands that there's not going to be any religion publicly displayed, or you're going to have a single religion society where publicly you display only that society, whether it is Christianity, Islam, or Judaism, right? And out of these three, only Christianity is willing to accept different religions into their country. If you look at Israel, they don't treat Christians very well. Well, I don't even think they have any Muslims. And then vice versa, if you look at the Middle East, they don't treat Jewish people very well. So why are the Christians the only people willing to give, kind of provide battleground or playground for all of these terrorist attacks to happen? And again, I'm not blaming just one part, right, or one side. Like I said, the gentleman who stopped the shooter just proved that it's not about religion, but in the shooter's mind, there is the religious motive, right? So yeah, just food for thought. Like, I think, like I said it multiple times right now, it should be either one religion or no religion. You can be privately religious to whomever you want or with whomever you want, but publicly it should be only one or none. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. If you have any opinions regarding that, just shoot me a comment.